It's morning even before the alarm. My eyes open, and the first thought isn't joy for a new day. It's a heaviness, a physically palpable weight pressing on my chest, the list of tasks, difficult conversations, yesterday's mistakes. It's all already here with me, in the quiet of the room. Have you ever felt that? The day hasn't even begun, and you're already out of strength. It's like starting a marathon with weights on your ankles, knowing you won't finish. My morning prayer used to be a ritual, a checkbox on a spiritual to-do list: read, ask, finish. But on mornings like these, formality doesn't work. It's powerless against this leaden fatigue. I once read that Jesus would go off to pray early in the morning while everyone else was still asleep, in a solitary place. That struck me, not as a rule to follow, but as a simple human revelation. If he, with all his strength and clarity, needed that quiet time with the Father to face his day, then what about me? When I feel not just tired, but utterly broken before taking the first step, that is when prayer stopped being an obligation. It became like air, the only way not just to get through this day, but to truly live it. And this conversation doesn't start with memorized beautiful phrases. It begins with a simple, heavy exhale, with a honesty that almost hurts. I just pour out everything on my heart without trying to appear better than I am. Lord, today at 10 in the morning, I have that meeting. You know the one. Just thinking about it makes everything inside me constrict into a cold knot. I've replayed dozens of scenarios in my head 100 times, and in every one, I lose. I can't find the right words. I look foolish. I let down the people who are counting on me. And I ask you for peace. Not some abstract cosmic tranquility described in books, but a very specific, almost tangible peace. Peace that I can feel there, in that stuffy office, at that polished table. Peace for those 30, maybe 40 minutes, just so my heart won't pound out of my chest and my voice won't tremble. And protect me. This is probably the hardest part of the request, because the main enemy today isn't the person across from me. The main enemy sits in my head. It's that voice, even now in this morning silence, listing all my past failures like a prosecutor, the one that pushes me to snap at loved ones because of my own fear, to unleash this toxic tension on them, protect them from me and me from myself, and grant me wisdom. Not for great achievements, not to change the world, but wisdom for the next hour. How to properly formulate a reply to that email from yesterday that I still haven't dared to send. Where to find the strength to smile at my wife when everything inside is burning. What tone to choose when talking to my child so they hear love, not my irritation. This is no longer a list of demands to the universe. It's an admission of complete inadequacy in the face of an ordinary day. I can't do it alone. Just carry me through this morning. And to be completely honest, at that moment, another voice always kicks in. The voice of common sense, whispering that all of this is self-deception, that the 10 o'clock meeting won't be canceled, difficult people won't become easier, and my weaknesses won't disappear. This voice says there's no grand plan in my current difficulties. There's just a series of problems that need solving, and I'm failing to cope. And that voice, I must admit, sounds very convincing. It operates on facts. And this is where the main shift happens, because faith in such a moment isn't a warm, cozy feeling. It's a decision. It's almost an act of defiance against my own fear. I literally say to it, okay, I hear you, but I choose not to believe you. and I ask, Lord, help me today, despite everything I feel, to choose to believe that you hold everything in your hands, even when they've already slipped through mine. I admit that I don't see the whole picture. I only see this small, dark, frightening fragment of my day. And I don't ask you to show me everything. I probably wouldn't understand. I ask you to give me the strength to trust the artist, even when I only see one black brushstroke on the canvas. Just help me live this day with the faith that this stroke isn't a mistake, but part of something I'm not yet meant to see. And the most amazing thing is that something truly does change, not externally. The problems haven't vanished, the meeting isn't canceled, and there's still the exact same amount of time until 10 a.m. But something changes inside. That lead slab on my chest doesn't disappear, but it feels a little lighter. The knot in my stomach doesn't completely unravel, but its grip loosens. I can take a slightly deeper breath. It's not euphoria or a sudden surge of self-confidence. It's quieter, much quieter. It's like that moment after a long illness when your fever breaks for the first time in days. The weakness is still there, the world hasn't become brighter, but you feel the crisis has passed, the worst is over, and in that moment, gratitude is born. But it's entirely different. I'm not grateful that the day will be easy, most likely it won't be. I'm not grateful for future victories or resolved issues. I'm grateful that right now, in this quiet, in my weakness and confusion, I am not alone. Grateful that my faltering, frightened whisper was heard. Thank you not for removing all the stones from my path, but simply for being here, beside me, while I gather the strength to take the first step. And somehow, that proves to be enough to get up.